Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Don Pod. You're here with Sam and Nathan. We're going to review the round 13 loss to the Blues. First of all, Nathan, how are you?
Yeah, I'm here.
You are here.
Do we have to keep reviewing losses, Sam?
I'm a bit more upbeat about this one, and not upbeat, that's the wrong term, but this is a bit better, I feel.
I'm excited because our VFL W and VFL M had wins. So we did beat Carlton at least at some stage. And Hawthorn. That's excellent.
That is excellent. We'll get to that when we get to that.
Yep.
7-12, 54 to 12, 8-80. Very cold, slippery night.
How were the conditions, Sam?
Cold. I bought myself a
new
jacket. And I was very glad I did. It was toasty. Rained on and off, but weirdly, we seemed to only kick goals when it was raining.
We're a wet weather team.
Bizarre. Yeah, not used to that. So when we play Fremantle, just make sure it's in the wet. And we'll be laughing.
Yeah, that'll help.
I'm going to start at the very start. I was promised a once-in-a-generation pre-match event. And against all odds, it delivered. I got to say, I didn't see that coming. It was really cool. You said it come across really well on the telly.
Look, I loved it. Yeah, look, I thought it was great. The moment when Hirdy walked out.
Oh, I'll do a bit of a story time.
Yeah. Go. Yeah.
On that, if I may. So, first of all, at the ground, lights went off. That's always cool. At night time when the lights go out, that's amazing. All the cups around the centre square, all 16 of them. Weird flex against Carlton, but yeah, okay. They had little spotlights on them that looked really cool. And then obviously you would have seen, what was his name? The guy?
Briggs.
Senator Briggs or something?
Well, he calls himself Senator Briggs on Twitter. He's cool. He's an excellent supporter. Yeah.
He started talking and then, Longy showed the highlight of his goal in 93. And then, he's on the ground. Wanganeen showed some highlights of him. Oh, look, he's on the ground. And about that point, I joked with some people around me saying, oh, mate, if Hirdy's here, look out. Ha. GWS coach, they play on Sunday. Didn't click that they played in Melbourne. And then, out comes Hirdy, full WWE style.
What with the smoke on the footy?
Goodness. I don't know about anyone else. You said you almost did. I
did tear up. I don't like to admit to that, Sam, but there was a moment I was like, this is an emotional, beautiful moment.
It was just lovely. And the Carlton supporters booed. They were always going to boo. I don't have a problem with that. We drowned them out, thankfully. And then, credit to Kevin Sheedy, they saved him till last.
The Don.
The immortal Kevin Sheedy. But yeah, I mean, to be fair, the only reason I say it lived up to expectation was because James Hirdy was there.
Well, I like the family connections they did with the Danahers.
Yeah, that was cool. Danaher and Fletchers and Job and Tim as well.
Do you know, there was a moment too with the Danahers where I thought, and yet there'll be a certain Danaher that'll never be welcome back at the club.
Yeah, we won't go into that because
his uncles and father are very, they're, gods of the club.
Absolutely.
Two of them especially.
And what I really liked was traditionally home team comes out second. They come out onto the ground after the away team normally. There was all that hype and everyone was like a really good buzz. And then all of a sudden it was, and now welcome. You're like, and it was just like, oh, fuck, now they're on the field. Woo, let's go. Like it was really well done. And just to have them run out with the lights off, it was really cool.
And the last thing I'll mention too on it was how I thought that the pressure on poor old Heppel.
I could feel it sitting in the stands.
For whatever we think about Heppel, like football,
to deliver that speech,
to give a speech in front of those guys. Oh God, I tell you what, I don't think I could have been any more nervous.
Yep. Forget his footballing ability because that's up in the air at the moment. That moment, fair play. There were a few things on that. Max Gawn put a thing on Twitter saying he definitely would have butchered it.
You're talking in front of Sheedy, Hirdy, Lloyd, like
royalty, like absolute. I can't think of anyone they didn't have there. Danaher's, Wanganeen, Long, Hirdy, Sheedy,
I think even
Watson,
Scotty Lucas
Fletcher,
on the ground.
Lucas, Ramanauskas. Thank you, I'd forgotten about them. That is elite.
Yeah. And
Anyway.
he look, I don't know what was said.
Nope. But looked amazing.
But he was pulling on the jumper and he was,
Shame we didn't get up for a win. I would love the first goal because we just had that little buzz in the crowd, and the first goal would have just been nice. Anyway, well done.
I actually thought when we kicked those couple of goals to get back, like we got in front for 10 minutes or so in that first quarter. I actually thought, oh, we might be on here now. Like, we've settled, we've got everything. And then the game happened.
Yeah. Just as a general statement, do you think we're a team that doesn't really get momentum? We don't seem to get runs of, we had a lot of the ball. We'll get into that now. I don't want to go too much into that now. It just seems like we're never really on top at the moment.
It's a fair statement.
Right. As I said, 7-12, 54, 12-8, 80, 26 points. That doesn't quite add up, does it? Oh, yeah, 26 points. 26 points. Sorry. Just looked like more. Shield 27 touches, Merritt 26, Heppel 24. Obviously, Parrish subbed out in the third quarter with a calf.
And that was that.
Complaint. For the Blues, Doherty 33, Newman and Walsh 29, Cripper 28. The goals for us, Jones and Draper with 2 apiece, Heppel, Hobbs and Shield with 1. Again, for the Blues, Mackay 3, Kerno and Owies 2, Fisher, Silvani, Cottrell, Cripps and Martin all 1. Now, I want to start with Dylan Shield. Well, I want to start with centre clearances first, actually, and then that'll sort of mellow into Dylan Shield.
Yep.
For the game, we won the centre clearances 13-8. I was keeping count in the first quarter. We were
logged them in the hit-outs too.
We were about 6-1 in the first quarter.
Yep.
Awesome. Like that. We sat here and talked about how good, and I, in particular, how scared I was of Carlton's midfield.
Yep.
That was awesome.
But we've been quite good at that a lot of times. It's stages, not throughout whole games because we haven't been good throughout whole games. But we've certainly flogged really good teams in that centre clearance.
But this was noticeable, and I don't know if it's because I was at the game versus watching it on TV or anything like that, but it was so noticeable that we were just getting the ball so cleanly out of the middle. It was beautiful. Anyway, my boy, Dylan Shield. Bit early for my
Your boy now.
Yeah.
Interesting turn.
This week. Criticised for his ball use, criticised for not being able to tackle, criticised for fading in and out of games. That's fair enough. He had 27 touches, 10 tackles. No other Essendon player this year has had 10 tackles in a game. I did my research. Parrish with 8. That's a one-off, 8.
Yep.
He's the next best. 27 touches at 82%. And I didn't get his clearance numbers. They would have been.
No, look, he was very good. It was interesting to see because he really, I really thought especially after Parrish went down, that he took more of a leadership. He took that on.
He was already well and truly in the game. Like 8 clearances.
The Parrish's injury happened pretty early. Like he wasn't
subbed out until late though, was he?
I think they played it like he was. You could see him hobbling around and stretching it for probably a quarter and a bit.
God, just take him off. Protect your player.
Well, I guess he's I can't answer that because I don't know. But
anyway, Shield quarter by quarter. First quarter, 8 touches, 3 tackles. Second quarter, 7 touches, 1 tackle. Third quarter, lowest possessions, 5 possessions, but 4 tackles. Fourth quarter, 7 and 2. That is just perfect. Like, take that as your bar. That's the kind of guy we paid for. That's the bloke we traded 2 first-round picks for.
And kicked a goal.
Beautiful goal, too.
And kicked a set shot goal, which is, I was a bit nervous, to be honest.
We were sitting there going, he hasn't got the leg.
Yeah, no, I was like, that's not going to happen.
And, such a pure strike.
And look, that's what we look for in him. Like, I don't expect him to kick a goal every week, but I'd love a goal every 2 weeks, something like that, and those sort of numbers around that mark.
He kicked one last week, or was it against? No, it might have been against Richmond. Kicked a lovely crumbing goal.
Yeah, you're right.
As well. Just a bit of form, and it was good to hear the crowd got a bit more up and about because it was him. His ball use going forward was beautiful.
Yep.
They were no wobbly drop punts. They were nice, fluid drop punts. in front of a forward. A couple of times Wright didn't get there, but they were at least in front of him.
Can we talk about forwards?
That's just all I'm saying. Well done. It's a very hard thing to do. You play for Essendon in a big club. You're getting slammed every week.
Yep. Well, there's high expectations.
Come out and do that. It was really, 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 really
good.
We
talk about our forwards
at the ground. Can we have a few more positives first, if there are some?
Okay.
Please.
Well, I want to
mention a forward.
Struggled.
I want to mention a forward in Harry Jones. Very good game.
Harry Jones was great. Yep.
Kicked a nice little Crummers goal. I think very smart tap actually from Peter Wright to him to get that, the one that they score reviewed. Digging the long sleeves. I'm normally pretty critical of the long sleeves.
Really?
I don't like them, apart from Hirdy.
We kicked 2 goals too, Harry.
He did kick 2, yes. Yeah. Just looked the most capable forward, which with with Wright and Stringer wasn't hard. I would have looked like a capable forward in that company. But we'll get to that. Sammy Draper as well, 2 goals, 1 set shot, 1
He was up and about.
1 rove. I love him. His goal celebrations are reason alone to have him in the side. Didn't disgrace himself in the ruck, although a couple of times he took the ball out of the ruck and then got pinged for holding the ball and then did it again. 2 seconds later, took the ball out of the ruck. I'm like, bro, you're up against a lesser ruckman. Your midfielder on, tap it to your bloody midfield.
Yeah,
Fair enough, you do it once, but if you get pinged, try something else, champ.
Yep.
And that's probably it for me for super positive. It wasn't a negative game. I don't think it was a horrible game.
No, it wasn't. The fact of the matter, Carlton are better than us.
The fact of the matter, good one. Yeah,
they're what, 4th on the ladder, are they? 4th on the ladder.
I can tell you that if you give me.
Yep, they are 4th.
They are 4th.
9 and 3.
Disgusting. Anyway,
they're 9 and 3. We are 2 and 10.
Didn't realize
they're the facts.
Double figure losses.
Now, on that, I also wanted to mention that I know a lot of people are at the moment, really screaming for sack the coach, get rid of the administrators, kill everyone, sort of stuff. I don't see it that way. I really don't. I still think that last year was better than expected,
and we
shouldn't have been in the 8 for one.
Only
if we'd come 10th.
Yes. The only season of the last 5 years where 11 wins gets you in the finals.
Yeah, if we'd come 10th last year, you would have went, oh, yeah, that's all right.
That's about
and then you would have looked at the teams we played and we had a pretty cruisy draw. And then for whatever reason this year, and I can't explain that, we've had a ridiculously hard draw.
We've had a very tough start.
And on that, we've played 7 of the top 8. And the ones we haven't played, St Kilda, we play them this week. So they'll knock the top 8. We've played all the top 8. And we've played 9th, 10th, 12th, and 14th. So, I mean,
it's pretty hard. I have a little bit of an issue with that in that it's pretty hard to play teams below you when you're 16th.
Yeah, of course. But I'm just saying that, like, we came 8th, 9th last year, and then we were handed a draw this year where we had to play Brisbane, Melbourne, Geelong, Richmond, and Collingwood, which we do have to play.
Collingwood, we thought would be.
Yeah. And Carlton, which we have to play. I get that. But all of a sudden, Carlton are very good. Richmond are back to where probably, they've been pretty good. Not great, but pretty good.
Struggle with the lead.
Struggle with the lead. And all that sort of stuff. So I'm just saying that.
I get your point.
I don't think that last year we didn't beat anyone in the top 8 except for the Dogs.
And we left that very late.
Yeah, we left that.
And that shows when you play finals then, doesn't it? Yeah. I mean, I agree.
So this year we haven't beat anyone in the top 8 either. So
I
don't know what's expected.
I'm not really on board. I'm not at all on board with replacing Rutten, anything like that. He gets minimum 3 seasons before I start even thinking about that. No, 3. So end of next year.
Yep.
If there's no signs of, if we get to this point in 12 months' time and we're 2 and 10 again, that's when I might be sitting here going, okay, we need to see some signs that we're upward.
But all I'd like to see next year is better defensive pressure. Like, I don't even have to care if we win games.
You talk about your forward line issues first, and then I want to talk about team defense. But you go with your forwards.
Well, the forward line issues I think are pretty clear at the moment. Like, Stringer was well underdone, and I would question. And hindsight's a beautiful thing, of course. But I would question why he even played. Like he ran around in that first quarter like a headless chook, and then was cooked for the next 2.5 to 3. You know, like he was. Well, he tried to fend people off. Yeah. He tried to step. You know, he thought he was the guy from last year. He thought he was Dusty close Martin. To the best player. Yeah. But he just wasn't, and it stood out. And yet we saw Freo, who were in a bit. Obviously, they're in an easier position. They're third on the ladder, so they can do this. They played Nat Fyfe in the waffle last week. Just to
if
get
Nat Fyfe can play in the twos, Jake Stringer can play.
Then Jake Stringer can go play in the twos too for me. And Jake Stringer would have had 6 weeks off, wouldn't he? Like just at a guess.
Oh, easy. It feels like I forgot he existed when he was named in. I fell off my seat.
Well, he would have only played 1 or 2 games this year out of the 12 or 13 that we've played.
While we're on him, he was my SPAC moment for the week, ×3. Yeah. He tried to fend off a bloke in the first quarter, bizarrely, and got tackled. Yep. He did it again in the third or fourth quarter and got tackled. Yep. And then he finally got a shot on goal late in the fourth when we had to really go. And it was the most awful attempt at goal.
Yep.
It spiraled, wobbled, and went out on the full. And we'll never know how much effect a crowd has on players and all that sort of stuff. But you're just giving the opportunity for the opposition supporters to be loud and jeering you, and that's got to suck. Like as a player, that's got to suck. So he was
the other one
dreadful.
Yeah, the other one I mentioned quickly is Peter Wright. Is just the last 3 weeks we've discussed him. Like he's the problem I have with our forward line in general is 2 things. We do not have a tackling small forward, and I would argue that Wanganeen, at least, I want him in the team because at least he will bring that. Because just out of curiosity, actually, I don't think I looked at the stats for tackles from the other small forward whose job is Guelphy had 3. Nick Martin had 5. So to me, Nick Martin's fine, but 3 from Guelphy's. But I'm not a massive fan of him, as you know. I don't care I don't understand what his role is. He's not anything special, if you ask me. But Peter Wright was really disappointing. He didn't mark the ball well. He didn't kick the ball well. He still has this thing where he'll just put his hand up, stand in the goal square, and stick his arm up and go, just put it on my head, I'll be right. Watch me. Hang on, it's been spoiled. That's strange. I thought I was going to mark that. And it's really frustrating to watch as a supporter. Just fucking lead at them for once. Just see what happens. Just run at the guy with the ball. Just see. Just even if someone gets in your way, well.
There was 2 things I want to add to that. One was there was a point in the third quarter. I sit sort of forward pocket level 1. So I'm very much focused on what happens at one end of the ground. When the ball's at the other end, I've got no idea. There was a point where we had the ball in half forward. And he's sitting there, arm up. Yeah, yep. I'm here. G'day, Pete.
He's pretty tall, so we can see him without his arm up.
Yeah, well, he's tall and ginger. Yeah, he stands out. The kick went top of the goal square, which is not where Wright was pointing. And he nearly marked it, right? And the crowd was like, oh. I'm like, it didn't even go where you pointed. Like, I was having a go at him because he was pointing, and then it didn't go where he pointed it, but he still nearly marked it. I think the biggest issue I have with his game was he got the 2 shots at goal. And what has made him so good is the dead set, accurate kick. His first shot was pretty tough. I'll give him that. Second tough for him was the soda, and he hit the post. That hurt.
100%.
Just contributed to that point that we did in the last.
Yeah, 100%. And look, Jones had a good game. But Wright, Stringer were ordinary. What was interesting was it looked like Heppel was up there in the first quarter in the forward line.
Yeah, I think he was on the wing. He was on the wing at one point, which blew my tiny mind.
Forward quite a bit. Look, Matt Guelphy was, I would say, useless. Yeah, average. Hobbs was okay.
Hobbs is fine. Good. What Hobbs is doing is okay.
Yeah.
Goal.
I think that someone like is it a Nick Hind? Is it a Wanganeen? We just need something different up there, like a small option. Not the tall options are fine. Peter Wright will be fine. Jones is fine. Stringer, he just needs to play footy. That's the clear issue.
Yeah.
But there's the smalls, like we miss Tip and Woody.
Always going to happen. If I can throw a scenario at you, which will kind of segue us a little bit into more defensive aspects.
Yep.
Well, it's a couple of things. I don't want to go. I don't want to go into.
I'll jump into.
Yeah, go.
I did watch a little highlight video of Alan Davey playing for St. somebody or others in Melbourne.
Okay, yeah.
And it was special.
Pretty good. Okay,
Yeah.
look forward to that. I don't want to talk too much about VFL just yet because we will get to that at the end.
Yep.
Church, as we're going to call him, Massimo D'Ambrosio.
Correct. I'll let you go there. I'll give you a moment.
I nearly said Massimo Luongo again. 32 odd touches playing on halfback, looks solid as a rock.
Yeah, and the highlights were really good.
Yep. If he comes into the side.
Yep. Which I think he will, to be honest. But go.
Does that not mean that Hind can play as a forward? Hind wasn't exceptional off halfback on Friday night. Like, he wasn't brilliant. I didn't really notice him. So we're not getting a lot from him. And he's quick. He's quick from hand to feet with the ball. He's quick to tackle.
I guess it's what you're taking away. Like, Hind and Redmond are your ball carrying, kicking guys. What I personally think is the issue is Kelly, is that he doesn't kick the ball well. He's very slow at decisions,
and he panics.
He's sorry.
He panics.
He panics. He's not defending well. Like, he's not like this rock solid defender who's letting no ball go past him.
Yeah, we'll come.
So he's not offering a lot at the moment, and I'm saddened by that because
we thought he was a really good pickup. Yeah,
we thought it was a really good pickup. And we've got a good, solid defender
solid
there. That's
one-on-one defender for a small forward.
Yeah, and whereas
play on friggin' small forward.
The big issue for me in our half back line and probably the whole back six is that kicking. We cannot carry the ball from the back half to the forward half. We cannot split the ball.
Does that kind of work with what I'm saying then? In that Mass is a great kick of the ball. Yep. He's gone from state football to VFL and has done it really well.
Yep.
Can that free up Hind? Because I'm with you on Wanganeen. Like, I don't care if he's in the game getting 2 touches because at least he'll be doing something else.
He looks like he's going to bring pressure, which is what we need. And I don't have a problem with the Hind idea you're saying either. It's the question of the Hind over Kelly, I think. Is Hind better as a defender, or is he better as a forward, or is Kelly out?
I don't think Kelly comes out just on the pure. I don't think he gets dropped.
I don't think he does either, but I reckon he needs to. Is my argument.
I'm with you. He is.
If I was coaching the club, he would be dropped for me this week.
I would have already dropped Heppel though. So,
I'd keep Heppel in because I think there's other reasons why I would keep him. He can do that.
Another thing on my little forward pocket that I'm very much involved in because of where I sit. The third quarter, ball came in to Jack Martin, who Kelly was on. I can't remember the exact scenario. I think Kel ran past Martin, and as he did that, Martin kind of put an arm out and touched him. Didn't push him or anything. Wasn't ever a free kick.
I do remember this.
And Kel run about 40 metres under the flight of the ball.
Yep.
The ball went out of bounds, and then Kelly turned to the umpire and had a whinge. Like, bro, you are in control of how you track the ball. Like, you can look at the football. You should be able to look at the football and go, I know where that's going to land because I have good judgment because I'm an AFL footballer.
Yep.
He just flat out stuffed up and then turned and had a whinge. I'm like, bruh.
Well, what were his stats too? I was been meaning to have a look just quickly at his stats. So he had 14.
You messed up, mate. Like, just own it.
14 disposals, 9 kicks, 5 handballs, 6 marks.
I think it's a combination for me of that he gets isolated, and whether that's an us thing or an opposition thing, that's when he panics. That's when he gives away free kicks, and apparently his judgment is just awful.
Yeah, and then the others, 166 meters gained, which is pretty ordinary for a defender.
Defense is pretty easy place to get.
You're kicking the ball the right way. Yeah. You shouldn't be too hard to gain some meters.
Defense itself, Mackay and Kerno got away from us early, but
defense itself is a bigger issue. I think there's individual issues, and then there's big team defense.
2 factors to defense. There's back 6, and then there's team defense. I'm talking back 6.
Yeah.
Ridley. So there's one point Reid was getting a bit beaten by Mackay.
Yep.
So at one point, Reid was playing on owies, and there's like 3 foot between the two of them. That was quite hilarious. And it happened 3 or 4 times. So it wasn't an accident the first time.
Yeah.
most hilarious thing I've ever seen on a football field. Ridley ended up being really important to the Mackay. Don't think he played directly on him, but got a few really good spoils in that stopped them from scoring. But Lav was brilliant. I have no issue.
Lav played a really good game, actually. Yeah. High tackles too.
Again, Reed didn't do anything that made me think he's not any good. The Yobbo behind me needs to learn that this guy's only played like 10 games and to lay off. If you're at the football, have a clue. Just a little bit of a clue.
I can't handle that because I think Reed's going to be a superstar. He's
the future of the club. Like, he's going to make mistakes. It's fine.
He's giving away probably 10, 15 kilos. I'm guessing 10 kilos to someone
and
like
Mackay and Kerno are big boys.
Like that, and they're 5-year plus veterans of playing AFL. They've got the bodies and the positioning and all that sort of stuff sorted.
Yeah. No real issues with the back six. Redmond was okay. Hine was okay. Kelly was an issue. But team defense, right? Massive. Carlton have probably the second best forward line in the comp after Geelong in terms of just your two main forwards.
Yeah, well, they've got the last year's Coleman medalist and a guy
and Kerno's
who could easily be he's second or third in the Coleman medal.
Yeah. And it was a lot more prevalent in the first half, and I think we got back in control of it second half. The ball in our forward line coming out, I was getting tired of booing Sard in the first half because we were doing it that often.
Yeah, because he was getting so much of it.
Because he had so much ball and kept run and carry. Every time they did that, you had Mackay and Kerno were basically isolated in their own one-on-one.
Yeah.
And all the Carlton midfielder had to do, which just shows their class a little bit more than what we were doing, was just put it in front of their forward. Their forward would be running back. That as soon as the kick happened, they'd turn and they'd run onto an uncontested mark.
Mm-hmm.
Made us look an ordinary, for one.
Yep.
Two, again, the Yobbos around me blaming the defence. No, Reed, Laverde, they can't stop that.
No. Here's a question for you then, where you're somebody at the game. Who was Sard playing on?
No one. Sard does his own thing.
But when the ball was...
I didn't notice anything.
Okay. So I'm going to say we'll make it an assumption it's Guelphy or Hobbs or someone like that because for size.
Probably more likely.
Wouldn't have been Stringer, I would have thought. Maybe if Perkins was down there, could have been, or Nick Martin. There would have been the options.
Yeah.
Because what frustrated me watching that was that you could nearly, by clockwork, you could watch it, that their kick-ins would go someone to Sard, and then he would carry the ball
back again, yeah.
And then I'm going, how about, here's a crazy idea, Essendon forwards, can stand on Sard when the ball's being kicked in and just run with him. Because
do you remember
that might stop them carrying the ball all the way up the other end of the ground so quickly.
Throwback to many, many years ago, and it's not the same scenario at all, but worth mentioning. Every time we played Carlton, what did Mitch Robinson do?
Yeah.
Mitch Robinson just totally nullified Dustin Fletcher.
Yep.
A couple of times, right?
Yep.
Same thing. Just like Guelph, you don't have to get a stat. If Adam Sard has less than 15 touches, 10 touches, whatever, and you get a few tackles and whatever, you've done your role for the team.
Yep.
Because I love to hate him, Sard, not Guelphy. But he's damaging. Like will get
340 meters gained,
and
15 of his
handball run. Like he will go all day.
Yeah. So 340 meters gained. 15 of his 19 possessions were kicks. So that's how he hurts you. Mm-hmm. As he runs, he kicks. He runs, he kicks. And we know that this is
we've been a bit cocky saying he's not that good, but he's quite useful.
Oh,
let's be honest.
He's not a bad player, but he's still the thing is, I would argue, is that there's quite a lot of half-back flankers that can do his job.
Yeah, absolutely. And I do find it quite funny that when he's getting booed, all the Carlton supporters are on their feet cheering him. It's like, guys, what's he done for you? Seriously, simmer down.
Get into that, Sam.
He's done nothing for you yet. You don't need to clap him.
I just think from a whole team defense, our biggest issue is how open we can be cut.
Mm. And then that transitions to how easy that makes it for the other team to score. Like, it just, they had such
that makes the defenders look worse because they're left on these one-on-ones where the ball's coming in, in tough situations, and they're not good enough.
Yeah.
Well, not many defenders are good enough. No, yeah. Stephen May and Lever would struggle in those situations.
Stephen May.
Yes, Stephen May.
I want to read you a little snippet of an article.
The ex-Essendon players are pretty tough.
This is just a snippet from an article I read. It was claimed that Melksham then floored 197 or 190 centimetre May with one punch.
He would have. Jakey's tough.
I don't know why that fills me with so much joy, but it does.
Jakey Melksham was tough.
He's a boxer.
Yeah.
The man's not like, if there's one bloke I'm going to fight at the Melbourne Football Club, it's not him. There's no one, but he's last.
Well, was the thing.
I'd lose. I would lose to every single one of them, and so would you.
I reckon that Fritsch. I could take Fritsch. His hair seems way too perfect.
Just rough his hair up and run away.
Yeah, just rough his hair up and run. Although I don't think that I'd be able to run very far from him.
No, he probably has the advantage on you there.
Has me there for speed and endurance.
Speed,
I'd have to just get in a wrestle. That'd be my only hope. Get him to the ground and sit on him.
This took a weird turn. Where we've gone from Essendon Football Club to fighting Melbourne players.
Yep.
We've
all been there, haven't we?
All thanks to Jake Melksham.
Look, our team defence is a massive issue, and I think the issue with that is that we thought, and this is when it comes back on our coaches, that was a thing that we would be really good at. Because truck defender,
we saw little bits of it pre-season. Like there was proof of it being a thing. It wasn't just
all the reports in the training, the pre-season training was, they're working on their defensive structures. They're going to be great defensive. And we thought, we know what's Sam's motto. Seriously
bad. Defense wins you titles.
Yep.
It's not mine. It's Sir Alex Ferguson.
It's yours when I say.
Okay. We need to move on because we're running out of time. That's okay. That was about it we wanted to talk about, really. Obviously, you want to mention the VFLW girls, obviously, because that's what the W stands for.
60... My daughter did say to me the other day about why do they have a W in theirs and they don't have an M in the other one. I went, it's a really good point, buddy. Really good point.
That's the kind of question I don't want to get from kids. Yeah, I can't answer.
I went, don't know. I don't know why they don't have an M in the other one.
Well, I know why, but it's not a nice reason. It's because the men's been there forever and we don't need an M.
Yeah, that's right. I just said, how about we just call them VFL and we'll just say VFL and AFL. That's it. We won't use the W or an M.
Yeah, it's a hard thing. So we now play the Casey Demons, who finished third in the semi-final on the 19th of June, which would be next weekend.
Were Hawthorn the second team, or were they the higher team on the list?
No, Hawthorn was second, and we drew with them, and then we beaten them 60-7. So
that's a good sign.
I will very much look forward to saying this every week. Yeah, the girls. Love it. Flying flag for the Dons. Actually have a very good...
Did you see the fight? The melee?
No.
Oh, it's a good little humdinger. A little bit of jumper pushing and pulling, and we got a free kick and kick a goal out of it. That's good.
Nice. So we win that. We're in the grand final. That is Sunday, 11:05 at Windy Hill. So if you're in the area, get down and support the girls. The other thing, the VFLM, we can call it that now.
Yep.
Very good wind. We had Carlton as well. They're also top 4, I think, in the VFL. Carlton VFL. 80-71.
Goal near to the end of the siren, wasn't it? Or
I didn't see anything other than the
Nick
score.
Bryant kicked it.
Did he? Big boy.
Yeah.
Jake. Try again. James Stewart, 22 touches and 3 goals.
He's playing forward again.
Playing forward, which is very interesting, but really good because I like competition on spots. And Peter Wright, look out.
Here's a crazy one. Does that mean they've thrown Francis back?
I can only assume. I hope so.
That's where his best football is.
Yeah.
I mean, if we had Francis and D'Ambrosio, all of a sudden we got 2 really good kicking defenders.
I said I wasn't going to do that. So D'Ambrosio, 32 touches, 15 of them kicks, 99 fantasy points for him.
I'm going to say I'm bringing him in if he...
Very handy game of football for a bloke who's come straight out of the State League, I assume. Was he the VFL player for Richmond?
VFL.
Can't remember. He was VFL. Okay. Anyway, still pretty bloody good. Brian, 45.
Still only 18, or maybe he's 19, but he's young. Still very, very young.
Brian, 45 hit outs and a goal as well. Pretty handy little performance and nice to get some wins. Nice. I mean, we can't win in the AFL. That's a given, but it is nice to beat the Blues.
But as you say, the competition will build pressure for spots, and the VFL teams, both the W and the M's, need to be better to put pressure on the levels above them, and that's going to be true with the women next year when they're playing in the AFL. I assume there'll still be a VFL.
Yeah, they'll have AFL and VFL for women.
Yeah, so it's all good for pressure, and it's the same in the men's. That the pressure if they play better football in the VFL, they'll put pressure, and that'll help with us picking and bringing players into the AFL. Because at the moment, we recognise we're a very young team, and there are some guys that are getting games, I think, because there's just no other options.
No one else. Yep.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Jeez, we're going a while here. I'm going to do a quick am I? I'm going to give you the point, and you're going to have one guess at the player. You're going to do it quickly, and we're going to get through this.
I'm ready. Go.
For 6 points, I debuted in 2014.
2014. Matt Guelphy. He feels like he's been there forever.
No. I played 80 games of football for the Essendon Football Club.
Oh, God.
Now, that is my maths, so plus or minus like 5.
Yep. Okay. Somebody wasn't very good in 14. Don't know.
Okay. For 4 points, I wore the number 46 to start my career.
Oh,
should be checking that comment here.
46. That's usually an Indigenous player. The higher numbers? Or was that 44 that they get? I don't know, still.
All right. I kicked 111 goals for the Essendon Football Club. From 80 games.
46. What's the name? What's his name? Went to Footscray.
Do you mean Cramery?
Yeah.
No, it's not Cramery.
No.
For 2 points, I was traded to Port Adelaide in 2020.
Oh, was it not Orazio?
It
no,
was
he wasn't
Orazio.
traded. It was it was the other one. What's his name? Bloody. Oh God, his name's something like food.
Do you want fries with that?
Yes, more fries.
It is not Mon Fries.
Oh, what's not?
And hilariously, for 1 point, I am Orazio.
Oh, what's Fantasia? What did I say? I went, no, it's not him.
And I said it was. And you're, no, it's not him.
Oh.
Sorry. I actually said, yes, it is him. No, you're wrong.
Sorry.
That's very good. I'm going to want your votes, please. I'll do mine first.
Yep.
If that's okay. 3 for Shield, 2 for Draper, 1 for Jones. There wasn't a lot of standouts, so that's what I've gone with.
Yeah, I gave 3 to Shield again, and I go Phillips and Laverde 2 and 1. I thought Phillips was really good in the ruck, to be honest. And Laverde, look, 7 tackles.
That's pretty good.
He battled well. I feel a bit sorry for a couple of those defenders like him and Reed and Ridley.
All of them.
I feel sorry for all of them. The one that I don't feel sorry for is Kelly at the moment, to be honest. Yeah, I feel like he's bringing it on himself.
All right, just a couple of comments. First question for you. Do you know who Kevin Walsh is?
Yeah, I know who Kevin Walsh is.
Okay.
Yeah.
So someone asked you a question, and I'm guessing it's because you're old. I have a couple of questions for Nathan. What was Kevin Walsh like as a player? What position was he? And who is a player today that has a similar playing style?
Well, Kevin Walsh was a maligned sort of player, I would say. He was one of those sort of not great, but I think he might have played on the wing. Okay. I reckon. He was early 80s. And I don't know who I would relate him to now, to be honest. That's a tough question because I can't think of... he was a bit like Henneman is who I would think of him. Or even Nat Rat. He was a guy that sort of could play a few places. Wasn't great, but was good. How to players like that. They might have played 120 games, but not really ever stood out in any.
Okay. I like it. Marcus, I hope that answers your question. Lee's asked about trade targets. Just for time, I'm not going to go into that tonight. Maybe another.
We're going to pick 3 because at the moment we're on 2 wins. Adelaide are on 4 wins. So
yeah, we're going to have a good pick, but that's for another podcast.
Yeah, but pick 3. I mean, we're going to get pick 3 in a Davey. So because I reckon we'll use our second round pick for Davey.
High hopes.
Which is exciting.
No pressure on these Davey kids.
Oh, I think they look like pretty talented players.
Joe has given us his rundown without a question, really. Biggest issue I've got is our ball movement, too stagnant and repetitive. Long bombs don't work for us, and they never have. We don't have a chip into the corridor that we can release a player running past. If there's no movement or line breaking, we don't create opening for leading lanes. Yeah, agree with all of that.
I don't think we have a kicker that can do it. Is the problem? Like Heppel tried one early in that first quarter, and it floated up and was taken away. And I think they might have even scored from it. Yeah, and then we went gun shy for the rest of the game from it, really.
Which is kind of understandable.
Well, it's not great, but
Alfie's asked a loaded question. Horn Francis, just yes or no, please. We don't want detail. Yes or no? Do we want him?
No.
I'm with you. Seems like a twat.
Bitchy too. Like he's having a go at his teammates. He's whacking. Like he'll get a week for that hit on Kelly.
2 apparently.
2, yeah. I mean, I don't want to.
He's not good for your culture.
He doesn't look that good. I'll be honest. I don't.
But it's like he's gone into North Melbourne thinking, "Oh my, I don't want to play for North Melbourne."
I really don't think he'll be there.
If you get the chance to play for an AFL football club.
I don't think he'll stay North Melbourne.
Kiddo. No, neither do I. But I get it. I wouldn't particularly want to play for North Melbourne either. But if I get drafted by North, I'm giving my all. Because
it seems like a bitchy fucking.
You want to play
I think
AFL
I'm unreal.
football.
I think I'm better than some of you players already.
Exactly. It's crap attitude. All right, that will just about do us. We do have the Saints Friday night next week. So we'll be here Thursday night.
Get the loss over and done with early for the weekend, Sam.
I reckon we'll beat St Kilda, but we'll get to that next.
Get out of town. I said that last week and we were miles from it.
It's going to yell a bit more. But yes, we'll be here Thursday night.
People.
Thank you. We'll be here Thursday night for that. Until then, enjoy your week. Stay safe and all that. And go Dons. Oh, thank you, everyone.
Go Bombers.
Thank you to the people on Facebook and everyone listening. We appreciate you.
Thank you to our listeners.
Yes. Go Dons.
Thank you to you, Sam. As always, doing a wonderful job of hosting the program.
I was so laden with sarcasm, but thank you. Go Dons.